The following program has been pre-recorded. WWL TV, Channel 4, New Orleans. Lynn Cannon, Mike Haas, and meteorologist Carl Arredondo. This is Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News Night Watch.
Deputies have a suspect in the disappearance of two New Orleans girls. He is charged with murder. A Louisiana man takes his entire family back to the beaches of France. Bill Elder has a live report from Normandy. And LSU tries to advance in the College World Series. Good evening, everyone. A bizarre murder case in Jefferson Parish took another strange twist today. A New Orleans man is in custody accused of killing his girlfriend's two young daughters, then burying their bodies beneath a highway overpass. Reporter Mike Ross has the latest.
The gruesome discovery left investigators with a mystery. Whose remains were buried under the Clearview overpass of the Earhart Expressway? Officials are now convinced the victims are 15-year-old Quianne Johnson and her 11-year-old sister Melissa, who vanished 18 months ago.
I was just wondering, but I was hoping that it wouldn't be them, you know. I just don't know. I don't know.
Sheriff Lee now says the suspected killer is the boyfriend of the girl's mother. He's identified by police as 42-year-old George Preston Labrie. The sheriff says he has not confessed, but he has acknowledged the seriousness of the charges against him.
He also intimated that what the other inmates in Angola would do to him if he was sent up for this particular charge.
The clues added up last week about the identities of the victims. The tennis shoes found at the burial site were the same brand the girls wore. And a pair of gym shorts found with the remains were tracked back to Samuel Green Middle School. Quianne Johnson was a student there before she disappeared. Investigators say a major breakthrough took place in the case as they questioned a large number of people in the girls' neighborhood. Suspicion turned to George Labrie.
And we've had two separate witnesses that have said that within the last year, Labrie had told them that he had killed the two girls and buried them under an overpass.
Witnesses also say the two girls were seen leaving their apartment with Labrie on the night they disappeared.
Why, if he did it, why would he want to take and kill them? I just don't know. Oh, Jesus have mercy.
Investigators say Labrie has a criminal history that includes an aggravated rape conviction in 1972. He tried to escape from Angola but was caught. In 1991, he was arrested for allegedly raping the 14-year-old daughter of his common-law wife in Port Allen. Sheriff Lee says the charges were dropped because Labrie threatened the victim and her mother, and they refused to testify. Investigators say they now know who the victims are in the overpass murders and who the alleged killer is. What they don't know yet is why this tragedy happened. I'm Mike Ross, Eyewitness News Night Watch.
Now, investigators say the girl's mother is not a suspect in any of the wrongdoings in this case. Pontchartrain Beach looked like a scene out of the past today. Military reenactors stormed the beach just as Allied forces did in Normandy 50 years ago on D-Day. World War II veterans, their families, and other spectators braved the rain to see how it all went. For many of the veterans, looking back on it all is still painful.
This is the most important battle of the 20th century, and I'm so wound up right now emotionally that just to think that I'm that part of history now.
People from New Orleans and across Louisiana played a big role in the Normandy invasion. Bill Elder has been in France the past few days covering the commemoration of D-Day and joins us in this live report. It is nighttime here, but good morning to you, Bill.
Good morning, Lynn. Lynn, at about this very moment 50 years ago, the great Allied invasion force was on the horizon in the English Channel, just beyond this American cemetery at Colville. Now, the soldiers would not hit the beaches for another hour and a half, but when they did, fierce fighting would break out and thousands would pay with their lives. In just a few hours from right now, some of those same veterans and their families will jam these hallowed grounds to commemorate that battle. Meanwhile, other events have been taking place. For the past 3 days, ceremonies commemorating the 50th anniversary of the D-Day invasion have taken place in a dozen towns and villages. In fact, There was even a parade for the 29th Division in St. Lo. But the most touching and poignant scenes were those in which men brought their entire families here to explain firsthand what they had been through. Lucien Laborde of Hamburg, Louisiana, brought his sons, his daughters, and his grandkids to Omaha Beach.
I'm thinking of how many didn't get up here. There were so many stacked out on the beach that it just was unbelievable. It was very distressing even to make it to the top. You were very happy to get up here, but you knew how many you'd left behind.
It was oral history in the truest sense.
They could put grazing fire across the whole beach. That's why you had to crawl or be halfway in the sand to keep from getting killed with machine gun fire. Right. Any man that stood up.
For more than an hour, Lucien Laborde explained to his enraptured relatives what it was like that day when he went in with the 29th Division on the first wave.
And we crawled up all through here. The Germans had heavy emplacements on this corner and on this corner. We had a lot of rifle fire holding them down, and some of the boats were firing these heavy shells on these two corners, and we worked our way in between, all the way to the center.
Before long, Lucien Laborde's relatives were themselves passing along the oral history of what happened on June the 6th, 50 years ago.
And the water was out, the tide was out at the time, so there was more beach to run up.
The sun will set tomorrow on this gigantic commemoration, and the next big observance will not come for another 10 years. But by then, there will be fewer veterans around to pass on the oral history of what happened here at Normandy. Lynn, that day 50 years ago was the most important day in their lives. Today, 50 years later, will probably be the second most important day. Lynn?
Quite true, Bill, quite true. Bill, Elder reporting live from France. Thank you very much. Elder will have another live report from Normandy tomorrow on Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock. President Clinton is spending the night on board a U.S. aircraft carrier as he prepares to mark the anniversary of D-Day. Mr. Clinton urged sailors on board the USS George Washington to protect the liberty secured by those who fought in World War II. The aircraft carrier sailed across the English Channel to Normandy for tomorrow's ceremonies. Now, earlier, Mr. Clinton and the First Lady joined Queen Elizabeth and other world leaders for a ceremony on the royal yacht. They reviewed a flotilla of ships and small boats that retraced the historic voyage to the beaches of France. Still ahead on Eyewitness News Night Watch, Mayor Morial narrows his list of finalists for the city's top cop. But first, more D-Day celebrations.
Every child dreams of joining the circus. Now Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey proudly present 45 Who Did, the largest ensemble of incredible young circus performers ever assembled. So bring your kids and your Visa card, because this edition of the greatest show on earth honors the spirit of children, but it doesn't honor American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Playing Louisiana Superdome July 8th through 10th. Call now for tickets 522-5555.
San Antonio. It's a million laughs, a sea of smiles in San Antonio's priceless style. San Antonio, priceless vacation is priceless.
Save on hotels, Southwest Airlines, magic memories at SeaWorld, never-ending fun at Fiesta, Texas, and lots more.
The magic, the memories, the brand new friends. San Antonio.
For vacation discounts, call 1-800-THE-ALAMO.
Get something extra during the Lanyap sale, only at Kirschman's Appliances. Get this Hotpoint 21 cubic foot refrigerator for $677 with free ice maker. Buy this GE dishwasher for $399 with free installation. And this Whirlpool air conditioner is just $5.99. Also with free installation. Plus, get free delivery, free interest till $19.95, and worry-free shopping with our low price guarantee. The Lanyap sale, this week only at Kirschman's Appliances, where quality is priced right.
They invade by the thousands, leaving an invisible chemical trail. But ants can be stopped by the exterminator, the Orkin Man. The exterminator wipes out ant armies with the awesome power of his advanced pest control technology. He destroys ants and their colony and makes sure they never return. Guaranteed. The exterminator, the Orkin Man. One call destroys them all.
Out of 65 applications, the Mayor's Selection Committee has picked 12 finalists for the Chief of Police job. Mayor Morial announced the names today. It includes 6 people from New Orleans. Among them, current Police Chief Joseph Ortiq, Deputy Superintendent Dwayne Johnson, Lieutenant Daniel Lawless, and Captain Ronald Doucette, who is commander of the 1st District. Also, Captain Carol Hewlett, commander of the 2nd District, and Arthur Hunter, who is a local attorney and a former member of NOPD. The out-of-town candidates include Michael Brassfield, Assistant Chief of Police in Seattle, Joseph Leake, Assistant Chief in the New York City Police Department, Robert Olson, Commissioner of Police in Yonkers, New York, Robert Russell, he's the police chief in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, that is outside of Baltimore. Gustav Thomas, a New Jersey gaming regulator and a retired New Orleans police officer. And finally, Jimmy Wilson, former police chief in Jackson, Mississippi.
At this point, our administration will conduct interviews of these candidates. We will also conduct extensive background checks on each of these 12 candidates.
Morial says he doesn't know when he will make his final selection. Lawmakers meet tomorrow in Baton Rouge for the start of a 3-week special session. The session's supposed to tackle more than 60 separate items, many of them controversial, like abortion, video poker, and teacher evaluations. Much of the session, however, will be devoted to crime-related bills, though some lawmakers are already saying it will be difficult to pass meaningful anti-crime legislation.
I think that'll amount to maybe 15 or 20 bills that'll deal from tightening up the way criminals are released on early time to giving crime fighters a little more ammunition to try to do their jobs, even to prohibiting young children from carrying certain weapons.
Most of these problems dealing with crime and drugs is going to need and require more money. So where's the money going to come from?
The legislature completed a fiscal session last month at which it approved a balanced budget. There is no surplus in that budget, however, to pay for any new anti-crime programs. Police say deadly violence is rare in the suburban community of San Marino, California, but it happened at a backyard party there today. Authorities say a dozen teenagers invaded the celebration and sprayed the place with gunfire. 2 people were killed, 7 others wounded. The gunman apparently got into an argument earlier and returned to the party to retaliate. The U.S. Defense Secretary expects no imminent military showdown with North Korea. William Perry says he does not recommend a strike at this time against the country's nuclear facilities. But he says the United States would, if necessary, strengthen the 38,000 American troops already in South Korea. At issue is North Korea's possible efforts to build a nuclear bomb. Here's a look at other stories making news. Heavy fighting is being reported in central and northern Bosnia as the country's latest ceasefire talks have stalled in Geneva. The negotiations were suspended amid accusations that Bosnian Serbs did not completely withdraw from the town of Gorazde. Logistical problems hampered relief efforts in a remote part of Indonesia. Tidal waves there, caused by Friday's earthquake, have killed at least 200 people. A 12-year-old girl is trying to become the youngest female pilot to cross the Atlantic. Vicki Van Meter left Maine today with her flight instructor on board because, of course, she's too young to fly solo. And here at home, a lottery ticket bought in the town of Ethel, Louisiana, outside of Baton Rouge, hit last night's $3 million jackpot. Officials say the numbers were handpicked. Still to come on Night Watch, can the LSU Tigers hang on in the College World Series? Mike is up next.
The Kirschman family welcomes your family to our 80th anniversary sale. Get once-a-year savings in all of our departments. Save 20 to 50% on living rooms. Sofas start at just $3.99. And this leather chair and ottoman are just $1.99. Save 25 to 50% on Thomasville and Kincaid bedrooms and dining rooms. This Chromecraft dinette is just $5.99. Save 50%. Plus, buy with no interest till $19.95 and no payment till September during the 80th anniversary sale at Kirschman's, where quality is priced right.
Take a good look at yourself. Working for what you've earned was no small feat. That's why you choose to think big about your car. For you, there's Mercury Grand Marquis. Standard V8, rear-wheel drive, room for 6, and dual airbags. Try it on for size. You're certain to fit. Mercury Grand Marquis. At just $19,990, it offers everything you expect in a big car without the big price tag. Mercury Grand Marquis. You can pay more, but you can't get more. Take a good look at your Mercury dealer today.
There's a breeze on the bayou. It whispers of family and friends, good times to come. It's the pride that we share. It's the love of the people who care. And it's everywhere. Don't you feel it? Can't you hear it? It's this feeling you've always known. The spirit of Louisiana makes Louisiana home. Louisiana
Monday is D-Day. We'll have reports from Normandy on the latest D-Day activities, including an interview with a local historian. Also, motivational speaker Zig Ziglar will be with us. Join us.
Unfortunately, we do not have good news about the College World Series for LSU.
Listening to the game on the radio in the first inning, I was doing other stuff at my desk, and I would leave and come back and leave and come back. The first inning lasted about 30 minutes, and LSU wasn't at the plate. Oh, no. That's bad news.
Bad news.
In the College World Series championship game last year, LSU pitcher Brett Laxton struck out 16 batters en route to LSU's title. Tonight, Laxton was back on the mound against Cal State Fullerton, but a much different story, as Laxton lasted for 1 out of the first inning. He gave up 4 hits and 10 runs. And believe it or not, it got worse. This was Skip Bertman's night, shaking his head. Problems for the Tigers, it really started in the field. The error from the catcher, that allows a run to score. And then Brett Laxton, the pitcher, getting the bunt. He falls down, another error, and Skip could not believe it, but it did get worse. Brett Laxton, the bases loaded walk. Fullerton sent 17 batters to the plate in the first inning, a record tying 11 runs in the first, everything going LSU, not their LSU's way. They called him safe, as later the ball does drop out of the glove. LSU bounced out of the College World Series after 2 games. The final tonight was 20-6. Georgia Tech a winner over Florida State. That final was 12-4. At the lakefront tonight, Iowa and New Orleans suspended because of rain. They will resume play tomorrow at 5:30 and then play a doubleheader. The New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers dead even through 6 games of the Eastern Conference Finals. Through the 6 games, how even? The Knicks were averaging 86.3 points a game. The Pacers, 87. I'm not sure if it's good defense or bad basketball. Very big Game 7. Will it be a Cinderella story today for the Pacers into the first half? It looked like it. Bill Murray on hand. Reggie Miller with the unbelievable shot. Pacers by 4, 51-47. Then Patrick Ewing, the rebound to Derek Harper, 76-74, New York. Late in the game, Knicks were down, but then Patrick Ewing on the follow jam, 91-90, New York. Seconds remaining, Reggie Miller, the awkward air ball, and that was pretty much it. The Knicks move on. They'll play Houston at Houston Wednesday night, 94-90, the final. Deion Sanders, traded from Atlanta to Cincinnati last week, used his speed, daring base running ability, and jumping ability to aid his new Red Machine team today against the New York Mets. The Mets led it 6-4, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Lenny Harris, the infield single. 1 run is in. Now the ball is bobbled. Deion Sanders stops. The ball is bobbled. Then he dives over the catcher to tie the game 6-all. They head to extra innings, and there, his teammate Jerome Walton, a 3-run homer. The Reds, an amazing come-from-behind win, 9-6 was the final. Elsewhere, NL today, Atlanta beat the Dodgers 6-5. Houston on top of Philadelphia 4-2. San Fran beat the Cardinals 10-3. Montreal wins in 13, 10-5. Pittsburgh over Colorado, and Florida 10-5 winners over the Padres. Texas looking for the sweep today in Boston. Scoreless in the third. Will Clark with the bases full of Rangers. He clears them. A triple for Will, 3-0 Texas. 7-all tie into the 10th. Jose Canseco, 2 on. His 4th homer in 3 days. The Rangers do complete the sweep, 10-7 over Boston. Elsewhere, Kansas City beat New York 3-1. Trouble for the Yankees. They've lost 4 in a row. Baltimore won 8-5. California over the Brew Crew 3-1. Detroit beat Minnesota 5-3. Toronto by 1 over Seattle. Cleveland and Oakland. The Indians hand Oakland yet another loss. 2 Spaniards walked away with French Open titles today. Sergei Bruguera on the men's side, and Arantxa Sanchez Vicario beat Mary Pearson straight sets for the women's title. At the Kemper Open, Mark Brooks was the winner, firing a final round 69. Tonight, on 4th Down on 4, the amazing story of a Kenner 21-year-old man who has overcome a great deal of adversity to become one of the top bodybuilders in the country. The story of Greg Nichols tonight after the news. And also on 4th Down, we'll introduce you to the top 2 Saints draft choices this year, defensive end Joe Johnson and running back Mario Bates. They just completed that weekend mini camp. We'll see how they did, how they handled the heat.
The heat, I know. I got you. Thank you. Speaking of the heat, just ahead, Carl says it'll be wet for the start of the work week. His forecast up next.
Get help in a hurry. Call a Bryant dealer to the rescue. Bryant's Quiet 2-Speed Plus air conditioner has a lower speed to help lower your energy bill. And only your Bryant dealer has it. So call Bryant to the rescue.
Come on, Bryant, and rescue me. Rescue me.
Doc, I'm really worried about my fat intake. How can I lower my cholesterol level? I don't know.
If only kids cared about what they ate as much as you do. Well, they don't. That's why there's Lightly 97 hot dogs from Hormel, with only 1 gram of fat and 1 great taste. So, until kids care about what they eat.
Well, I gotta do something about this root beer belly.
Lightly 97 from Hormel, the one to serve.
It happens every day in parish courthouses across Louisiana. A standard document is filed, recording one of our most significant business transactions.
In other states, they have what's known as deeds. We don't use the deed concept here. We use an act of sale and an act of mortgage.
This unique system allows Charter Title Limited to research and validate a property title using original papers that trace over 200 years of family legacies. Whether it's helping a first-time homeowner or supporting neighborhood programs such as Operation Comeback, these legal professionals have one goal in mind as they bring buyers and sellers to the table.
Introducing people to a home that will be the home of their dreams and helping them consummate the transaction.
We're Louisiana made, Louisiana proud at Charter Title Limited and WWL TV Channel 4.
Nothing unusual going on. Little rain, little heat, little rain, little heat.
Little more rain,
Yeah.
little more rain.
I should say a whole lot of rain.
A whole lot of rain. It came down in buckets. I got some impressive rainfall amounts from just close by. Here, just 1 1/3 inches here in the quarter, but other places.
That's enough.
That's enough. In a day's time, yeah, but wait till you see some of these other rainfall amounts. Look at our radar from earlier today, and you can see it was lit up like a Christmas tree. A lot of showers and thunderstorms around. Moisture coming in with the sea breeze. Warm Gulf air coming on in over the warmer land. Moisture rises as it heats and forms showers and thunderstorms around the area. Now, drifting on out of the area, diminished quite a bit, but earlier this evening, one thunderstorm right there developed right over the city. Very impressive lightning display around parts of the metro area. If you were out a little earlier this evening, you heard the thunder. And you can see now on radar, the rain is pretty much diminishing, so some light sprinkles still out there here and there. But overall, the heaviest stuff is over now, and thank goodness, because some places really had too much in the way of rainfall, like Sal Dewey and Poydras over 6 inches of rain. In Gretna, a couple of reports, just under 5 and a little over 5 inches of rain there. 4 1/3 in Thibodaux, says Dr. Russell Bender. The Lakefront Airport, over 2 inches of rain. But on the North Shore, not that much in Covington. Slidell, over 1 inch of rain. Audubon Park also reporting about 1.5 inches. So you can see it really came down in some spots, and some places really didn't get that much, like River Ridge, just about 1/2 inch of rainfall. Our conditions as of 10 o'clock, a shower being reported at New Orleans International, 76 degrees there. 75 at Audubon Park, 74 in Slidell. Slidell reporting partly cloudy skies. 94% the relative humidity, so our temperatures will not fall very much from their present readings. Southeast wind at 9, pressure 2989. And steady. And with our high temperatures today, about 91 at New Orleans International, 88 at Audubon Zoo. The heat index, when you combine the humidity, was up in the upper 90s today, and I don't think we'll see too much of a change for tomorrow. You can see the showers and thunderstorms erupt with daytime heating system coming through the plain states, but by far across the country, the best weather was in the northeastern quadrant of the country. Let's take you right there to our nation's capital, where the organization No Greater Love sponsored a wreath-laying ceremony today at Arlington National Cemetery to honor those who died in the Normandy campaign. Those on hand, the daughter and great-granddaughter of General Omar Bradley, they laid a rose at his grave earlier today. It was pretty decent weather in D.C. for the ceremony. High temperature today was about 84 degrees. Now, as we take a look for tomorrow, we are going to definitely see no big changes. More showers and thunderstorms erupting around the area with a mixture of clouds and sunshine, and temperatures again climbing up to around the 90-degree mark. And with the humidity, it may feel like it's in the upper 90s. For tonight, the rain ending, still a slight chance of an isolated shower along some of the coastal areas. Partly cloudy skies otherwise. Low temperatures really not falling that much, lower to mid-70s. For tomorrow, again, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. We'll see mostly afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. They got started about late morning today, so that may happen again for tomorrow. Temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Our marine forecast, winds will be picking up tonight and tomorrow, about 10 to 18 knots. Seas offshore 2 to 5 feet, choppy for the area lakes. And we'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, once again picking up those winds and seas. Range in the tides for tomorrow, 1.2 feet. Lake temperature 84, Gulf at 82 degrees. And down the road, above normal chance of rain for Monday into Tuesday, but hopefully starting to dry out later on Tuesday into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, where we'll see our normal chance of rain.
All right, thank you, sir. When we come back, we will take you to the French market for a Creole celebration of the tomato.
Ladies, here's your chance to spend the evening with Jim Mara. Register to win tickets to the official Saints Minicamp for Women. Winners will take a behind-the-scenes look at the Saints plans for 1994. 100 names will be drawn to receive 2 tickets, but remember, it's for women only. Just send your entry to Saints Minicamp for Women, Box 57869, New Orleans 70112. Deadline for entries is June 8th, so spend the evening with Jim Mara at the Saints Minicamp for Women.
He traveled the river road at the turn of the century, teaching young students to read and feel a new form of music. Professor James Humphrey was the patriarch of an influential musical family, and 2 of his grandsons helped bend the notes that became New Orleans jazz. Percy Humphrey played his trumpet in the streets of the quarter, while brother Willie rode the riverboats with his father's clarinet. In 1962, Percy and Willie found a home at Preservation Hall, where they became the cornerstone of this musical Mecca's house band. You can hear their grandfather's legacy in their sassy, brassy sound, a living tribute to the spirit of a traveling musician. The legendary Humphrey Brothers, honored by this year's Big Easy Entertainment Awards with the Lifetime Achievement in Music. A community message from WWL TV, Channel 4.
The answer to life's richest puzzles.
Weeknights at 6:30 on WWL TV, Channel 4.
The French Market held the 3rd annual Tomato Fest this weekend. Chefs from as far away as Brazil cooked up spicy versions of fried green tomatoes and jambalaya. We leave you now with some scenes out at the French Market. Good night and have a great week, everyone.
Baby, eat your heart out. Louisiana Creole is there. Lord, give me that old time. Give me that old time. Give me that old time. Lord, give me that old time. Give me that old time. Give me that old time. It was good for my old mother. It was good for my old mother. It was good for my old mother. Lord, give me that old time. 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 It was good for my dear father. It was good for my dear father. It was good for my dear father. It's good. Oh, give me that old time. Give me that old time. Give me that old time. It's good. Oh, give me that old time.
The preceding program was pre-recorded.